Hey, how's it going, beautiful people? As you already know, I've covered that multiple times on my channel. Use Ezoic to monetize my website or blogs, and then amazing platform. But today is a different video in the sense that I actually, because I'm part of Ezoic Premium, I was able to schedule a site review, a review of my site with an Ezoic agent that gave me great advice on how to actually improve not only the speed but also the revenue on the site. And I just wanted to provide you with the full interview so you can actually listen for yourself. Pay attention to the tips about the placeholder, about the site speed, about how to fix when you have a subdomain, and everything will be explained here. Now, if you are invited by Ezoic Premium, okay, you want to make sure that you join it. Now, after you join it, for sure you will benefit from it. And then, if I go on my premium right here, what you realize is my subscription right now is I am paying $22 a month. Now, Ezoic is free, but then if you're invited to the premium, you can choose a plan like $22 a month, but then you earn about $37 extra. The one thing that you do, or that you can do, is that you come here on site, schedule site review, where you can actually schedule a site with an Ezoic Expert. As you can see, my last meeting was on October 28th. That's why it doesn't allow me to currently schedule a site review, but I can still reach out to the customer service. Now, here you will see a way, the calendar and everything available for you to schedule your site review, and an agent will actually get to your site, reviews your site, give you tips on how to optimize your site speed, but also you can ask whatever questions you have, and then I'm pretty sure he or she will be able to answer. Now, without further ado, let's jump right into the live chat.
Report, and then the report you want to go to for site speed is site speed, and then request timing, and then caching is another good one. So I'm going to first show you request timing. So this tells you pretty much every site speed metric on your site. There's a lot of different ones, but the main ones you want to focus on are time to first byte, and this is usually when a user loads your site, when does the content come, the first point the content comes. So it's how long it takes for the content to get pulled from a server. So minimizing this, that has to do with caching. Time interactive, this is when pretty much all the essential parts of your site load. That's including content. Um, that's including the first viewport. So when you load the site, what you see right away, that's the first viewport. So it's essential functions, viewport, first bits of content, and when the user can start interacting with the site. This doesn't include additional things like tracking, um, uh, ads, etc. So the difference between first byte and interactive is when users can start interacting with the site, and then
Interacting
they
with the
don't load
site.
it.
Okay.
Yes.
Like they start scrolling down and up. Okay. See.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And then average content load time, this is when content has loaded for the entire visit
Okay.
or the entire page view.
Nice.
So if
So
some user doesn't, if they scroll down, that's going to load more content. And so that time can increase based off how long they visit.
yes.
And then total load time, this is just the total load time takes for everything to 100% load. But it's not really that crucial of a metric because a lot of site speed optimization tools, what it does is instead it spaces the unimportant things out. So the unimportant things take longer to load. So total load time increases, but the important stuff still loads right away. So a good example of this is if I go to your site, for example, and then I refresh it, and then the waiting right here, see how it's waiting? This is no cache. So then this pulls the content, and then when I scroll down, you'll notice how there should be sometimes a URL that uploads here in the bottom of your screen, or it just appears on that side. And when you see this like URL pop up on the side of the screen when you scroll down, that means there's stuff loading in the background that the user doesn't see. So that's how total load time can be inflated. Yeah. So the most important things is time to first byte. You want that as low as possible, and time to interactive. So with all that being said, with your site, yes, the times are pretty high, and usually most sites that I see on our platform that are running with caching, they have less than less than 2 seconds about. So 1.8
Yes.
seconds. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I realized that about my site, and even before, like right after I sent you the email, I
Mhm.
received an email from Ezoic support, like telling
Mhm.
me how I can actually, if I integrated my site with Nameserver, then I could use the Ezoic caching and also activate the CDN. And I'm not sure we'll get into that, but I tried to do that, and I
Mhm.
realized my site was a little bit for some reason was a little bit faster. I don't know why. When I look at the days from October 21st to right now, it's still the same high time for the average byte, but I tried to integrate first with the name server, activated the cache, and when I was loading on my computer, it seemed faster. So I when I look at that
Yeah.
time now, it makes me realize that the probably for the average user it was still 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Now, the reason why I switched back to the plugin
Mhm.
is because when like I sort of after integrating with the name server, all my subdomain where I had content were not working anymore. And so I contacted Bluehost, and then I was like, okay, my main domain is working, but my subdomain is not working. I
Mhm.
changed because I changed the IP address. That's why they told me that I have to contact Ezoic to fix that, and that's why I switched back to the plugin integration so far.
Okay.
So,
So
and
there was an issue with the subdomains.
yes.
Okay. So, I'm not exactly sure what the issue was. Um, but so it looks like this is when your site was probably on the name server, and this is when our cache was sitting, and this is when
Mm-hmm.
you switched back to WordPress. So
Mm-hmm.
if we switch to time to first byte, it looks like it dropped a little bit
Mm-hmm.
when you were on our caching compared to when you weren't. When you switch to name servers, so Ezoic acts as a reverse proxy. So when you switch to name servers, it starts routing traffic um, through Ezoic from your host. So we still pull content from your host. You're still being hosted on your host. We pull that content from your host and then we serve it to the user. But what happens when you switch name servers, if we don't have the correct IP, we can't pull it from your host. So then when you go on name servers, when we return back to the user, nothing's going to show up or there's going to be an error. Yeah, so I'm not too sure about the technical details, but what I would do is if you do want to try name servers again, when you open a ticket, explain to them or to show them a screenshot of if you have the error.
All right, listen. So what he's basically saying is this: how do you fix the problem? Suppose I have my main site, themmsexperience.com, and now I just created a subdomain in Bluehost which is called shop.themmsexperience.com. If I integrate with the name server, so if you go on settings and you see that my site is integrated with the name server, meaning that my IP address is not Bluehost anymore, but it's my traffic is routed through Ezoic. Then if I create that subdomain in the Bluehost account, I will need to add that here. How do you add that? When you click on settings, you literally go down. Like if you're integrated with the plugin, again on integration method, if you're integrated with the plugin, you don't need to worry about anything because your subdomain doesn't have a problem. But if you have a subdomain, then you scroll down here on DNS settings. First, there is one thing that you will need to pay attention to. This here, this number is your IP from Bluehost, and this is how you add a subdomain. You copy this value here, and then you come here on add DNS record, and then here you type the name of your subdomain, paste the value of that IP address, meaning that your subdomain will still be routed to Bluehost. Like your traffic on your subdomain will still go through Bluehost, not Ezoic. So, and then you select here an hour, and then Cloudflare proxy, you don't have to turn that on, and then you click on add DNS record. you will see that will be added here somewhere. Next thing, this is not over, but an Ezoic agent will need to approve the entry that you just entered. So what you do is that you go on Google, whatever, you type Ezoic support, you open that whatever ticket center, and then you scroll down here on troubleshooting. You scroll down here on new support ticket. You scroll down again, sometimes it does that. You open again troubleshooting, and then you scroll down again to new support ticket, and then from here you select the topic. There are a multitude of topics, like whatever issue you have with Ezoic. If you have an issue with your site showing errors, the Ezoic Premium, or any type of question you have, you ask them here. Want to select, for example, integration DNS moving host, that's what you select, and then here you say my subdomain is down, and then from here you click those articles did not help me, then you paste the URL of your subdomain. Suppose it's shop.themmsexperience.com, or maybe your main domain. Okay, let's say it's the mmsexperience.com. The subject is my subdomain is down. Here now is where you explain. So what I said is, hey, I just added a new DNS record for my subdomain on Ezoic dashboard. Please approve it so my subdomain goes through Bluehost. I have many subdomain. In case you have many subdomains like me, my subdomain are this, and then you just click on ticket eröffnen. Like, I don't know why they put that in German, it's just weird, but basically it means that send the ticket. So you will send the ticket. If you have a picture that you want to upload, then I believe you can upload the image here. You select the image to show that in fact this is down, and then you just click here. An agent, in a matter of minutes or maybe an hour, an agent will just fix the issue for you. That's what happened for me, and my subdomain went back up. That's why I am integrated with the Nameserver again. Again, the Nameserver provides you more money and then increases the user experience because the traffic is routed through Ezoic. Let's continue.
There's some things you can do, like increasing the cache age in cache settings. And then we go to the speed section. We scroll down to caching, we go to app. And then we scroll down to the settings down here. So these are your caching settings. So these are pretty much default settings. One thing is for smaller sites, increasing the cache age. And right now it's set to, this is in, I think seconds or minutes, and this is per day. So you can triple this time for having it cached for 3 days, and that helps a lot. Some other things you can do is turn on this override. This override pretty much by default we honor pre-existing cache rules. So let's say you have some sort of cache through Bluehost. A lot of hosting providers by default have a cache enabled, but they don't really say it. So this is a way to just override that. And then you can also turn on this ignore cache control. This just pretty much says a user comes to your site with a certain role set on their browser. That says, hey, no cache pages. This rule just pretty much overwrites that and says, actually, you're still going to get a cache page. Yeah, so it helps overall speed. So these are the settings you want to go to. And then let's say, for example, if you're updating content on your site and you instead of, clearing the cache so updates right away by clicking this button, what you can do is you can add a rule to exclude your home page from caching. And this can make it so that page doesn't get cached, so the content is going to show up right away. And this can be nice because, like, a lot of times users don't really visit your home page that often, but if you want to show off your page or show it to friends, or when you look at it, you could exclude certain pages from caching, and you can do that through here. Yeah, but yeah, that would help a lot with speed on your main site, being on the Nameserver, because then you get the full access to caching, and it helps a lot with the optimization.
So
I just quickly want to go over some last couple things with your site, just some tips for optimization that you might find helpful with the little time we have left. So first of all, I want to talk about the app placeholders just a little bit, um, and sort of give you some tips for how you can improve the setup a little bit. So right now, um, I would say you got a pretty good setup, but there are some room for opportunity. Um, and first of all, I noticed sidebar, you can have additional sizes enabled. You, you don't have floating sidebar enabled. So what I would do is, I noticed you have this yeah, this sticky one, which I don't think is from Ezoic. This looks like you
Yes, it's a
implement it from a third
plugin. It's a
party.
plugin. I was not aware of the Ezoic sticky sidebar,
Hmm.
so I was like, I found a plugin that allowed me to have something sticky, and I just
Okay.
decided to
So
do.
what you could do is you don't even need to have the sticky then. You could just delete this guy
Mm-hmm.
and then increase the sizes available on these two. Make sure you get the longer vertical, and then what you can do is add a sidebar bottom underneath this one.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have it follow down the page as the user scrolls and it have, up to only like maybe the 600 size. But I do know you have the video enabled. So on
Yes.
some pages, the video might cover it, which is fine. The system will eventually pick that up and it'll only show smaller sizes on pages with videos over time.
Mm-hmm.
But on the pages without video, you definitely want to cover as much real estate as possible if you can. That'll help a little bit. Um, so that would what I would recommend for sidebar. Enable additional sizes on these. Definitely get the vertical ones enabled. Um,
So you recommend me to add more vertical sidebar, like the
yeah,
longer
more
one?
vertical sidebars,
Okay.
because you just want more flexibility.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you have a question?
The thing is, sometimes when I added multiple sidebar, like ads were not showing in all of them.
Hmm.
They were just showing like sometime you have multiple ads in the sidebar, sometime you have like three ads in the sidebar.
Yeah.
So that's
Was
why
was it showing any white spaces or no?
no white space.
Okay. So it's okay if the system shows less or more. That's just, it's doing its testing on you. So the more options it has, the more layouts it has to test. So sometimes it might just be testing random ones to figure out which works best. And so that's why you see more or less appearing. Yeah. It's just one of those things that once you have more size enabled, let it take its time and it's going to start configuring an optimal setup. And that can change over time based off of how users interact with your site. And then, oh yeah. And then lastly, I just want to mention for your in-content placeholders, I did notice you have some placeholders that are shifted to the left. I did notice you have some placeholders that are centered, some that have different sizes. They're not always in order. I see this is under second paragraph when above it was under third was a third in content three. So having them in order helps a lot. If you do see placeholders with less sizes, um, try to enable some bigger sizes. Definitely enable the box sizes, the 328 by 280. Those are probably the best sizes you want to have on your site. You do have, yep. And then I would recommend, since you have your third-party units on your site, I would recommend to center your placeholders. So just so you have consistency across all units, and it makes the ads look a little better on the site, because if you have some that are pushed to the left and some that are centered, for the user, it kind of throws them off a little
How do
bit.
you center an ad from here? Like,
Yeah. So you'll click on here and then click edit, and this will go and open all the settings, and you go to the paintbrush icon, and then there's alignment, and you can go center, and then center. And then there's other things you can adjust color, padding, you can add, disclosure link if you want advertisement and sponsor link, and then other languages. You can add margins. Sometimes if you have like links that are really close to the ad, you definitely want to add margins so you don't run into issues with policy compliance
that's
and
how
that
okay,
sort.
that's why you add margin. Okay.
Yep, and just make sure you add the PX at the end of it. Um, and then this setting page is where ads show. This will detect similar pages. So that means this placeholder is going to show on every single page like this page. You can use single page or directory as well. And then these are where you select the sizes. These sizes selected for this one is the default standard for this position. So has netboard, has these mobile guys, has these vertical for mobile. They pay pretty well, and has the box ones. And then it has the two banners, and
Sorry,
that's pretty standard.
quickly, could you please just show me again what are the most optimal sizes,
Yeah,
please?
yeah. So for your in content, have at least this one, the leader. This 4 one doesn't matter too much, but having these two is good. And then the box sizes have all 3 enabled with all platforms. And then on the vertical, having only mobile selected for these top 3 ones. So not desktop, but only mobile for these top 3 ones. Yep. And then netboard for desktop. And those are the best ones to have selected. Of course, if you decide to change your theme, this might change a little bit, but currently for your site, that's what you want to have selected. And then when you're done, you click Save Placeholder. Also, if you do notice anything, if you see any of these settings turned off, turn them back on. Adaptive sizing just is a great way to make a little extra with using the same amount of space. Same with fluid sizing. Fluid sizing just allows other demand partners to show different ad sizes based off of the screen size. So it's like responsiveness, but for ad sizes. So it's a good setting to have on. And then click Save when you're done, and then watch. You'll see it gets centered.
And you say for the box, the 280 times 320, that's what works well.
For the box, the 360 by 280, this is the best box size. And as you notice on your site, if you scroll up to the top, you see how you have the big banner size selected. But watch when we turn off our placeholders and we let the ads load, you see how right now it's just showing. Whoops. Yeah, but you saw how it showed the box size instead. That's because the system has identified that size is going to make you more money than the bigger size. In this case, for this type of user, which is me. So not always the big sizes don't show up all the time. So sometimes the smaller sizes show up, and that's okay. And that's sort of the beautiful part about our system is it makes those decisions in real time for you. Yep. So yeah, those would be the action items. Of course, if you have questions with placeholders, you can mention a ticket, and then one of our experts would hop in, review your site setup for you, and give you some pointers as well. And do you have any last questions for me?
No, Terrence, thank you so much. I really appreciate your help.
Yeah, of course. Happy to hop on and help out. Yeah. So yeah, have a great day. If you know any help, you know where to reach out. Yeah.
That's how awesome Ezoic is, you know. It's a great platform, great people, great customer service, and that is the beauty of joining the Ezoic Premium. Like if they offer you the Ezoic Premium, always say yes, because you're able to have someone like that, you know, that comes to your site, deeply reviews it, and is able to give you actionable items to take, or actionable step to take in order to improve your site, improve the money. Not a lot of platforms out there are able to provide you with this type of quality services. Click on the link down below, join Ezoic amazing platform. Until next time, take care. Peace.
And don't forget to smash like and subscribe. Thank you.